Tim Cook is one of the richest non-founder CEO with a net worth of $1.3 billion according to Forbes. In 2011, 2 months before the death of Steve Jobs, Tim Cook became the CEO of Apple, when its market cap was under $340 billion. Today, under his leadership, Apple's market cap peaked at $3 trillion, which makes Apple the first company to have market cap of over $3 trillion. Tim Cook had pledged to donate all his wealth to charities during his lifetime. Though he is a billionaire, he doesn't live the life of a billionaire. He lives in a $2.3 million house in Palo Alto, which is considered modest for a tech CEO. He does not own any expensive yachts or private planes. WeWork founder Adam Neumann has a net worth of $1.5 billion, the net worth which is identical to the net worth of Tim Cook. If we look into Adam Neumann's lavish life and compare it to the modest life of Tim Cook, we will notice a big difference. Adam Neumann lives in a $35 million property in Gramercy Park, which is located in Manhattan. He also owns another $10.5 million townhouse in Manhattan. His planned renovation budget of the townhouse was projected over $6.5 million. He also owns a $21 million house in the San Francisco Bay Area. Apart from residential properties, Adam Neumann owns at least $100 million worth of commercial property. During his tenure as CEO of WeWork, he bought a private jet worth $60 million, which was designed to have Adam Neumann a perfect luxury travel. Although Tim had tripled the Apple's revenue within a decade, like any good employee, he made his bosses who are Apple shareholders happy. And during his tenure, Apple stock skyrocketed. But many believe it was not due to Tim's performance. Instead, Steve Jobs, even being dead for 11 years. His vision is pushing Apple's stocks and revenue. Steve's vision and innovation of creating iPhone made Apple the leading player in mobile phone market. Tim is criticized for not showing even a quarter of the creativity which Steve showed. Tim lacks charisma to market the Apple products, nor has he made any significant changes in current lines of Apple products. Want to know how Tim Cook became the successor of Apple until now he is successfully leading the company? Watch the full video. Tim Cook, small-town boy, became CEO of Apple. We at Business Chronicles tell the stories of extraordinarily successful people. Please subscribe to our channel to help us in making more videos. In 1960, Tim Cook was born in a small town of Mobile, Alabama. His father, Donald Cook, was a shipyard worker, and his mother, Geraldine Cook, done various jobs that include housekeeping and working at a local pharmacy. Tim was a very good student. He was second in the class of 1978 at Robertsdale High School. In 1982, he graduated from a public university in Alabama called Auburn University with an industrial engineering degree. Within a few months of graduation, Tim landed a job at IBM. This was the era when Microsoft and Apple were not giant, and IBM was leading the computer market. In 1988, while working at IBM, Tim got his MBA from Duke University. Tim was among the top 10 students of class and was awarded the title of Fuqua Scholar. In 1994, Tim resigned as the director of IBM's North American fulfillment and joined computer retailer Intelligent Electronics as COO of the company. In 1997, after 3 years of working at Intelligent Electronics, Tim joined one of the world's largest computer manufacturers, Compaq, as Vice President of Corporate Materials, where he oversaw the product inventory of the company. His time at Compaq was not very long, and within 6 months, he moved to Apple as Senior Vice President of Worldwide Operations. Apple was at the verge of collapse, and to save the company, investors brought in the company founder Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs took the role of CEO of Apple following the removal of its previous CEO, Gil Amelio. To revive the company, Steve started to assemble his own team. He went on to look for fresh blood. In 1998, Steve personally contacted Tim and asked him to join the company. Interestingly, before joining Apple, Michael Dell asked Tim how someone can fix Apple. He said, "I'd shut it down and give the money back to the shareholders." Steve Jobs' vision to save Apple from bankruptcy was to produce new products like iPod and later iPhone. On one side, Steve created innovative products. On the other side, Tim Cook's role of distribution was equally important. At first, Tim moved all the manufacturing out of the USA and hired contractors. Many of such contractors were located in China. This move of outsourcing manufacturing was not taken well as many of the local workers lost jobs, and Tim was looked as evil. But for Apple, it was a brilliant move. With low regulations and cheap labor outside USA, the production time was reduced to days from months. With cheap production, Apple had a competitive edge as the margins were higher and Apple was taking huge profits. Even competitors like HP canceled HP Touchpad as it was not sustainable to compete with Apple iPad. In 2004, Tim Cook was made interim CEO of Apple when Steve Jobs was on leave due to cancer treatment. In 2007, after successful surgery on Steve Jobs, Tim became COO of the company where he led the operations. In 2009, Tim again became interim CEO due to bad health of Steve Jobs. In 2011, Tim became the permanent CEO of Apple, and after 2 months, Steve Jobs died. Even after the death of Steve Jobs, Apple's stock price never stopped surging thanks to shareholders' confidence in Tim Cook. When Steve Jobs became CEO of Apple, it was having survival issues, and Steve Jobs has one challenging task, and that was save Apple from bankruptcy. Apple's supply chain that time was totally a disaster. To solve that, Steve Jobs was told to hire Tim Cook. Tim Cook was working at Compaq, which was the largest computer seller at the time, and he had massive experience at other companies like IBM. Tim turned down multiple times to join Apple, and finally Steve decided to personally meet and persuade Tim to join Apple. Steve Jobs told Tim about his vision, and Tim changed his mind and joined Apple. He was first given the task to fix Apple's biggest problem, which was supply chain. Within 3 years, Tim created the world's best supply chain and manufacturing operation, which impressed Steve, and he started to mentor him to become CEO of Apple, as Steve was having very bad health. Steve spent countless hours with Tim and guided him to become his successor. In 2011, Tim offered Steve part of his liver, as they both have the same blood type. But Steve refused and said, "I'll never let you do that. I'll never do that." On the day of the death of Steve Jobs, the campus flags were flown at half-staff in his memory. Tim many times mentioned publicly that Steve's death made him feel the loneliest in the world. Before 2011, outside tech circle, very few knew about Tim Cook. Within a short time, Steve Jobs died, leaving the company's responsibility in his hands. Many said it is the end of an era of Apple's growth and technology innovation. Some said Apple without Steve Jobs will never grow and its downfall is near. Tim deep down knew he can do better, and Steve himself had trained him to lead Apple. Tim followed the footsteps of Steve Jobs and kept the culture of the company intact. He started to appear as a public figure and diverted the public attention to Apple and its products. At the start, Tim made many failures. The first public failure was Apple Maps. It was a mess, and even Tim himself apologized for releasing the maps before it was completely ready. Another failure of Tim was marketing. It was very tough to match Steve Jobs' marketing tactics. Steve Jobs was a brilliant marketer, as he used to say, "Market dreams, not products." Many believe that Tim, at the start, failed to create the best and funny ads that Apple used to make during Steve Jobs' era. Other failures that Tim got were iCloud, Siri, and hiring John Broette as head of Apple Retail. After becoming CEO of Apple, Tim at the start had several failures, but he managed to keep the growing trend of company numbers like revenue and stock price. Once he was settled in as CEO, he made several bold moves. Like in 2014, he acquired Beats Music and Beats Electronics for $3 billion. The founders Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine also joined Apple. Later in 2015, Apple Music was launched using the technology and talents from Beats. In 2015, under his leadership, Apple Watch was launched, which was the first product to launch after Steve Jobs' death. Apple Watch is a super success. Today it holds 55% of market share of smartwatches. It sold more units than all of Swiss watches sold. In 2016, AirPods were launched, which revolutionized the wireless Bluetooth earbud market. Today, AirPods is one of the best-selling products of Apple, and its sales have helped to increase Apple revenue by an additional $10 billion by helping the sale of items like Apple Watch and Beats. In 2019, Apple TV Plus was launched to increase the company's future growth. Currently, more than 33 million users watch Apple TV Plus. It is believed that Steve Jobs turned around Apple when he came back as CEO in 1997. Besides Steve Jobs, Tim Cook also played an important role to turn the company around by making the best supply chain setup, which made Apple able to deliver its demanding products to its customer base very efficiently. Tim Cook took the risk and left the luring job at Compaq, which was the world's largest PC manufacturer of the time, to share the vision with Steve Jobs, which made Apple today the largest tech company. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this.